Hi there, everyone. My name is Sura. I'm a meditation coach and ambassador for meditation.com. Today, sharing with you how you can apply the practice of meditation towards stressful, difficult, challenging relationships. I thought I'd start off this cast today with just a simple, heart-centering meditation that will take us a few minutes. Wherever you are, finding a comfortable seat, letting your body relax down towards the earth. Feel your spine nice and tall. Relaxing your shoulders, all your muscles around the midline of your body. Now taking this time to center yourself in your heart. Breathing in through the back of your heart. Letting yourself fully relax and exhaling out through the front of your heart. 2 more breaths like that. As you breathe in, feel yourself becoming lighter and clear. And as you breathe out, letting go. 1 more breath, breathing in, softening in your innermost core, and exhale, relaxing deeply. Noticing how taking a few breaths in the middle of your day can help to shift your mind and your energy. Today, sharing with you some helpful tools for being in difficult situations with other people. We've all had that experience of having to deal with someone that throws us off center, that makes us feel unsettled, where we feel like after we spend time with them, it takes us a while to recover ourselves. And a lot of this also has to do with how we relate to the situation. And when we're in toxic situations or relationships that don't feel healthy for us, it can really help us to apply the practice of meditation in those circumstances. Because when we are dealing in lower vibrations, when we feel a bad vibe or a low vibe, it can be very draining, and it can also wear on our immune system. We can feel like we have less energy. We don't feel as buoyant. We feel disconnected from our spirit at times, and it can be a frustrating experience. So how can we apply the practice of meditation? And the first thing that we can do, and what meditation helps us with, is to open an objective, neutral perspective. If you were to observe the dynamic between you and the other person, what's really happening? If you were to observe from a neutral standpoint, how would it look different to you? And when we're able to open the witness perspective through meditation, which is really opening our awareness, we can begin to see from an objective place, and it helps us to not take it personally. So just letting yourself see from a neutral perspective. And the second thing that you can do is put yourself in the other person's shoes. Meditation helps us to relate to others as ourselves. And see if you're willing to understand the other person. Imagine how he or she grew up. Imagine the environment that they lived in. Imagine everything that had to happen in their lives for them to become the person that they are today. And the way that they relate and the way that they communicate today. They may not have had all the resources, but they are doing their best. Even if it doesn't seem like an ideal situation for you, knowing that when we try to understand the other, it allows us to have more compassion in the situation. And that leads to the third point, which is consciously practicing compassion in those situations for yourself and the other person. Because when we are in a difficult situation, we suffer. When we experience stress, we suffer. And having that compassion towards ourselves, acknowledging and recognizing that we are going through this suffering, helps to alleviate it. And then also seeing if you can turn that feeling of compassion towards the other, knowing that they too are suffering. Through meditation, we're able to see more clearly from what you could call a spiritual perspective or a clear perspective. And when you're able to see the pain and suffering of another person, you stop separating and judging yourself, and you stop separating yourself from the other person, and you don't feel as inclined to keep judging the other person. Because when we judge other people, it does cause a level of suffering for ourselves. And this is how we can start to really apply the practices of meditation towards our relationships, is practicing self-compassion, and with that, self-acceptance, self-forgiveness, self-love. And when we are able to experience those states, we start to feel acceptance for others, forgiveness for other people, even love for other people. And that's how we can really start to shift the way we relate to those situations. And we can really also begin to tune in to what it is that we would like to see happen. So it moves us out of having to react in those situations, of feeling resentful or angry and upset about it, and just get back into our center. Be in our center, be willing to see from a neutral perspective, to put yourself fully in the other person's shoes, and to have the willingness to experience compassion for yourself and the other. And all of those together will help to create more inner space. And I think that these practices really do help to alleviate stress in our everyday life, no matter what we're doing, whether we're dealing with somebody at the post office or our friends, our family. We become more available, more of who we are in those situations, and really letting ourselves release the fear, the sense of separation, the sense of this isn't good, and just accepting it the way it is and relating to it the way it is. And so that's how meditation can help us. And I'd love to hear some of your questions and comments. I'll be on for a few minutes here answering any questions that you have. What are your challenges with meditation, with having to deal with other people? And we've all had that. And oftentimes people will say, look at the other as your teacher. Notice what the other person is triggering in you. And we like to think that, they are, what's out here is the cause of our suffering. But really, it's the state of our own consciousness. It's believing that this person out here in some way has power and control over your sense of inner well-being. Meditation really helps us to find our own source of well-being from within, so that we don't have to project what we feel or what we feel we lack onto other people. So it is, it does seem that other people are the cause of our suffering, but when we can really go inside and start to cultivate our own inner peace, the events and the circumstances out here don't affect us. They don't throw us off center. They don't disturb us as quickly as they would before we can establish a stronger meditation practice from within. So the more you build up the energy, the more you practice and increase your own vibration, the more you'll see some of those situations just drop away. They won't be as triggering, they won't be as sticky where you feel so entangled and there's a lot of back and forth and you can't let go. It just doesn't even, stay in your space. It'll be more fluid. And you'll notice that, but it's a real conscious practice. You have to stay awake. You have to be willing to stay really centered in yourself and your heart, and be honest. Be really honest and truthful about what's happening. So this is how relationships can help us grow, is they're often, they can be a reflection of where we are, where we might still have anger, where we might have our buttons get pressed, and just what pushes us. And instead of, focusing our negativity out there on somebody else, we can just take that opportunity to go within and to meditate quietly within ourselves, to use that as an opportunity to contemplate. And it's not an opportunity to beat yourself up like, I shouldn't be upset about that, I should be beyond this. And it's not about beating yourself up. It's really about learning how to fully accept yourself even more. And when we even accept our negative emotions and the way people negatively trigger us, that is healing in itself. That helps to release that negativity, is releasing our resistance to negative emotions, to what's going on outside of us. And when we're able to allow that to settle and to learn how to resource ourselves through our breath, then we're able to really let it go.